Welcome back. So last time we installed my dew heater here, and I got a comment that they were very concerned, they're anxious of me doing all this with my corrector plate exposed. So normally I have my lens cap on it, but I wasn't able to because I was putting my dew heater where my lens cap normally would be. Now I took off the spacers on my lens cap thinking that it would fit, and when I went to put it on, the dew heater is just too big. So I could have gotten a bigger lens cap, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my dew heater back uh, underneath my um, dovetails, and it should provide enough heat for my corrector plate there. So first thing I'm going to do is disconnect my heater. We'll remove it. As you remember, I tightened it up pretty snug. Oh, and I actually tightened it to the dovetail, so I'll need to remove this. Again, being careful to grab the lock washer that's in there, which I did. Okay, so that should now come off. Just loosen these guys a little bit. Okay, so this is now free. I am going to leave the cable management intact. I believe that should be fine. We'll see how it goes. Now again, with the corrector plate, I'm just being extremely careful, of course, as I put my screwdriver right next to it. One thing that someone mentioned to me a while back, or actually I think I saw it in a video, is anytime you're working on a telescope with your lens cap off, have it horizontally. Therefore, if anything drops, it's not going to drop onto the corrector plate, or it has less of a chance to drop onto that. Or if you've got a daub, it won't drop into it. So make sure it's always horizontal. So I've done that every time I've worked on this. I've got to loosen up my temperature control. Of course, I didn't pre-select that, so we will just guess on this size here. It looks about that size. Look at that, first try. Honestly, I didn't plan this. This was a complete guess on my part. That should, maybe a little more. So I'm just loosening up the temperature control. We have to take it off altogether. It's threaded in there pretty tight. Just so I can slip my dew heater underneath it. There we go. Okay. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So I removed my temperature control and I moved the screw on my Vixen dovetail up top. So I'm just going to slide the dew heater up pretty far forward. Let's see, there's the screw for it, the hole around there. So I can go a little bit onto the black here. That shouldn't be affecting it there. Okay. Okay. Pretty happy with that. check my fit there. Not crazy about that, but it'll work. All right. So let me screw my temperature control back in. And I'm going to have another video where I completely disassemble this, and I'll show you how everything goes together, what goes to where, what I've purchased, what works. Don't know if I have any equipment that I've purchased that I no longer use. I think all of my equipment I currently have on my telescope. Yeah. But this should work out much, much better. And then as a bonus, I'll show you what I've had to do. Again, I don't know if it's specific to LX200s, but this worked out for me for my lens cap. So, well, I'll talk about it when we get to that point. I'll finish up tightening these. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second, so I'm not just rambling. Okay, that's there. And again, horizontal, so if I drop the screw, it'll just drop to the floor. It won't go into the corrector plate. Again, with these screws, I mentioned last time, I'm going to mention it again. You want it snug. You don't want to wrench them down with all your might. They are extremely close to the corrector plate as well. I think I was calling it a lens. It's actually called a corrector plate. Thank you. I forget who the commenter was that corrected me. But yeah, if you screw it down too much, you actually can damage the glass. Okay. So I think I'm much happier with it in this position. My lens cap does go on. Problem is it's not very tight. So if you can see, there's little felt pieces here. One there, and one there. And over the years, these have worn down from putting them on and taking them off. So all that I did to solve this is I've got these Scotch felt pads. I just picked them up from Target, I believe. And they go on the bottom of furniture so you don't scuff up your floors. But I found they're exactly the right size to snug it down so my lens cap doesn't fall off in the field, which is very helpful. And they're adhesive on the back. So I had 2 on before. We're going to see how it works with 3. 1, 2, I guess I'm going to do 4. So these are cheap, so I'm not too worried about the expense of these. Once these are on for a couple years, so I think I figured this out 2-3 years ago, I had to use a screwdriver to pry them off. So they adhere extremely well. And I'm not being overly careful. I'm not measuring. I'm just ballparking it, putting it about where I think it should be. This should work out pretty well. I've already tested it before. There we go. Nice and tight. So what I noticed before I put these on is when I went to pick my telescope up and put it into my case, as soon as I put it vertical with the lens cap down, it would just fall off. So I'd have to try and hold it and put it. It was a pain. So this works out much better. Put my lens cap on. Hopefully I didn't invoke too much anxiety to my one commenter. But I think I explained how I do things, why I do things. So yeah, so we've got both my dew heaters installed, and I think that's going to be about it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Clear skies, and I'll catch you next time.